Do not defraud. Honor your father and your mother. Why only 6? Why not all 10? Why didn't Jesus just rattle them all off? He actually spoke of the 6 commandments that this young ruler could understand. It had to deal with people, him working with people, because the first 4 commandments of the 10 commandments deal with our relationship with God. So Jesus purposely left those 4 out and just talked about the ones with this young ruler with regards to his relationships and the people that he talks to. And he answered and said to him, Teacher, the ruler answered and said, Teacher, all these things I have kept from my youth. Can you imagine? He said, I've done everything. I've done it. And he answered, and then Jesus looking at him, and this is the clincher right here. Jesus looking at him loved him. When Jesus looks at you and you say, God, I've done everything I know to do. Everything that I think I should be doing, I'm doing. And then Jesus looks at you and loves you. Because he knows our heart. When we are at that place of desperation like this young man where he wants to know, how do I inherit eternal life? I want the answer. And when we get to that place of desperation where God, I want you, I want this answer, I want to know what it's all about with regards to me, personally. How do I inherit eternal life? He wasn't talking about the Sanhedrin Council. He wasn't talking about the Pharisees. He wasn't talking about the Jewish nation. He was talking about himself. And when we get that personal with God, it's not about the whole world. It's about me. Jesus loved him. And he loves us today. When we just get so wrong, put everything else aside, say, God, this is just about me and you. It's just me and you. This past May, we had the opportunity to be in a conference at Holy Trinity Brompton, an Alpha Conference. Thousands of people in the Royal Albert Hall. It was beautiful in London. And at one point, the worship was going on, and we were sitting higher up. And as we were sitting up there, I just watched the people. There's some worshiping with their hands raised, and some crying and moving of the Spirit. And it was just like God was just moving all over the auditorium, everywhere. You could just see the hand of the Lord. You could almost, his presence was almost tangible. And I looked way down at the stage to the person that was leading the worship. And I just had this conversation with Jesus. I didn't run down to the front like the young ruler, but I had this conversation. I said, Jesus, you're doing so much for so many people. This is a sign and no wonder. I feel so privileged to see what you are doing amongst your people. But amongst it all, Jesus, do you see me? Do you see me? Because when you're in that love relationship, when you've gone beyond dating and you've made that commitment in marriage, you want to know that that person thinks you're the most important person in their life. You want to have that assurance that you're still that one. And I was just in that place in my walk with the Lord. I just needed the assurance that I was still the one in my walk with him and in my relationship with him. And I can't explain it other than it wasn't a worship leader standing there. And I'm not going to say it was a tangible manifestation, but in my spirit, I saw the presence of Jesus. And it was